Are you tired of throwing out wax moth eating honeycomb? I'm about to show you how to stop wax moth mayhem with one single application without any of the bother of moth crystals and wrapping the supers, stacking them securely so that all the moth crystal fumes stay inside. This is a spray it and forget it one-time application about once per year. So every time you harvest your honey supers and clean them out, you'll want to do this once they're dry. This is going to take the work and the worry out of preserving your precious comb frame. So what is this wonder product? Well, it is Xentari biological insecticide, BTA. If you Google BTA Xentari, you'll get lots of information about it. What it is a natural protein strain of the microorganism Bacillus thuringiensis, subspecies Iazawa. Probably butchering that, but you can Google it and find out everything. I'll also have links to where you can buy this product in the description below, so check that out. According to the labeling instructions, it's used for controlling caterpillar pests, particularly those difficult to manage, such as wax moth. Xentari is known for fast action, as larvae stop feeding within minutes of application, and it's also exempt from residue tolerance, allowing for quick harvesting post-application. That just means that once you spray it on and it dries, it's safe. You can put them right back on the hive. It's also a highly selective insecticide that is effective against a broad spectrum of caterpillar pests and is completely safe for beneficial insects such as bees. So this targets a very specific set of caterpillar type insects such as wax moth larvae. For wax moth larvae, you're going to want to make sure you get Bacillus thuringiensis subspecies A. So Iazawa. Again, not positive on the pronunciation, but you'll see all kinds of different types of BT at your local farm and garden, but BTA with a small a is the correct type for wax moth. So what all do you need for application? Of course, you're going to need some BTA, which I take out of the bag because it's not refillable, and I put it in a mason jar, and then I keep this mason jar inside in the house in a dark, cool place to help preserve it for years to come. I also put on the top the Xentari, and then I put the lot number. These bags, you can find the lot number on the back of the bag in the lower right hand corner. It's a little bit hard to see, but they only give you the lot number. They don't give you an expiration date. You actually have to call the company to get the expiration date, but I figured out a little trick to calculate the approximate production date. And this powder, as it's a basically dehydrated bacterium, I think it's a type of spore, as long as it stays cool and dry, it's good for many, many years. So you'll read different accounts of 4 years, some people say 7. I've read up to 10 years. So after you get your Xentari and you seal it up in a nice container to keep it fresh, you're also going to need a little home garden sprayer, or you can get one of the little handheld pump sprayers. You could use a spray bottle, but that will be a lot of finger pull, so it'll wear your hand out pretty quick. You want something where you just press it and continuously spray. So a little $10 home garden sprayer from Walmart. You want some purified water, distilled water. I don't want to use my tap water because it has been treated with chemicals at the treatment plant to keep it clean for us. And some of those chemicals, I'm afraid, might actually interact and make the BTA not as effective or negate it altogether. You'll also need a measuring scoop. At this is all the applications for it are in measurements of per acre. However, you can find on the local forums what some people use and have found to be effective. I'm going to use 2 teaspoons per gallon. So the suggestions range anywhere from 1 teaspoon per gallon to 4 teaspoons per gallon, depending on your per acre rate on the instructions. So I'm going somewhere in the middle with 2 teaspoons per gallon. And I'm only going, since I only got a few frames here to do, I'm only going to do a half gallon, because once you mix this up, it's only good for a day or so. So don't mix up a lot, think you're going to be able to use it months down the road. After you've mixed it up, it's only good for, at the most, a few days. So, all right, let's go ahead and mix this up and get this going. Now that I'm done with this, I'm going to go ahead and put it back in the house to keep it preserved. Pour about half a gallon in here. There we go. Probably good. Give it a good shake. All right, once you gave it a good shake, you want to pressurize. And then you want to get your stream to where it's a fine mist. Whenever you're applying this to the frames, you don't want to soak them. You just want to make sure a good mist gets over all the surfaces, including down into the cells of the honeycomb. So honeycomb, the cells are somewhat like this. So you want to make sure you angle the frame or the sprayer to where the spray is going down into the bottom of the cell, because if you just let it hit the surface, the wax moth can actually survive and chew all the way through the bottoms of the cells without ever hitting that surface and not getting exposed to any of the BTA. I'm going to actually put on gloves just because, one, I don't want to get propolis all over my hands. Two, it does suggest you wear protective equipment. Whenever I spray it, I normally spray it one way and then tilt it to just get a couple different angles. And any comb that has where brood has been in it, you'll definitely want to make sure you cover that well. Wax moth tends not to go after just comb that has had honey in it. They prefer the comb that has had brood in it, because it's got the cocoons that they like to eat. Oversprayed that one a little bit. And it never hurts to spray your bee box a little bit. Because wax moth will get in little nooks and crannies. And then I just put them back in. Space them out as much as possible. And then I'll set them out in the yard off to the side like this, so the air can dry them out. See, for example, this comb right here has had a lot of brood in it, so I'm going to make sure I get this one really good. It's also a good time to clean up your frames and your supers. That way they're good to go for next season. Now there's another product that you can get on Amazon currently called Surtan, but it's only like 5 ounces of liquid, and it makes basically 1 gallon. And it's approximately $40. Whereas this Xentari is 1 pound of powdered, and it will make, as you saw, one teaspoon does, you know, where 2 teaspoons does a gallon. So you're looking at a lot of application, years worth of application, depending on how many brood boxes or honey supers you're trying to protect. When you spray it, if you spray it direct on and then angle it a little and then angle it the other way, you'll get all the surfaces really. Then again, spray the box. If you've got really dark frame or dark comb, or if you have black foundation, you need to make sure you don't keep this out in the direct sun too long, because they will actually start melting. And just stack it up like that, and you're good to go. Like I said, this is a cheap, effective way of preserving your drawn out comb without having to worry about moth crystals or any other complicated technique. With moth crystals, you have to, before you use them, you have to let it air out 2 or 3 days. This, once it's dry, it can actually go right back on the hive. Matter of fact, it's safe for the hive right now, but you want to let it dry. I'll have links to where you can purchase this product in the description below. I also have, if you enjoyed tips like this, I have a link to my free beekeeping book that has tips and tricks to make beekeeping simple for all beekeepers. And if product reviews or demonstrations or tips and tricks like this interest you, you'll want to check out another video that will be popping up over my left shoulder.